Hey, what's guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're continuing on our series with best SDS rotary hammers. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Makita and their XGT lineup. This right here is a GRH07. It's pretty much the D-handle style SDS plus rotary hammer drill on the XGT lineup. It has a whole bunch of features. So if you've been following this series, you know we've kind of been testing rotary hammers, and then we've been testing all the ones we had so far, and then seeing how they stand up against each other by putting them on the test track. So if you want to know more about this tool top to bottom and see how it performs compared to other tools we've tested so far or other tools that are on the market, stick with us. This right here is the Makita XGT 40 volt max XGT brushless cordless 1-in-1 agents SDS plus AVT Rotary Hammer D-handle style AFT AWS capable rotary hammer drill. Wow, that's a lot to say, but that's what the title says on the Makita website, all right? So for performance, it's got the Makita-built brushless motor, 40 volt XGT battery platform that delivers up to 23% faster drilling performance in concrete. It delivers up to 38% more holes per charge. And for user comfort, it features anti-vibration technology, which is what AVT stands for. And for dust management, it is compatible with a dust extraction kit, which you have to buy separately, and it makes it OSHA Table 1 compliant, okay? It's got all the other default Makita basic stuff like the Outpower, Outlast, Outsmart. The AFT, which is active feedback sensing technology, turns off the motor if the rotation of the bit suddenly is forced to stop. So pretty much if you get bound up, it turns it off, okay? Anti-vibration technology, which is AVT, is designed to reduce the vibration to the user, and they feature that in several areas of the tool. Okay, and as we mentioned with the dust extractor, you can buy that one separately. The model number on that is DX15, which is the HEPA dust filter cleaning mechanism and all that kind of stuff. This tool does not come with an onboard hook or tethering loop, and you have to buy that separately if you want that. The model number on that is 191C37-7, and if you want to buy the auto start wireless transmitter for this tool, it's 198901-5, and that's the transmitter. And remember, it works over Bluetooth, so if you have something that uses AWS, you have to buy the receiver separately if you don't have that one already. You can also buy a dust extraction cup, which goes over the bit and just gathers it there, which is not actually dust extraction, but it's a cup. Model number on that one is 195173-3. And of course, you can buy this tool in all sorts of configurations, you know, with the kit, with the HEPA kit, with the battery, with the tool only, all that kind of fun stuff. But let's continue on with the specs, okay? So it's got electronic brake, which stops the tool quickly. It's also got a torque limiting clutch. It's got variable speed trigger. Obviously, it's a D handle. It's got soft ergonomic grip, and the trigger is a 2-finger trigger. It's got a built-in LED light. The 3-mode operation is featured on this tool. It's got multiple bit angles so that you can position it at multiple angles, which is generally there. It's also got XPT, which is the extreme protection technology. As we covered, it's all the default Makita stuff. If you wanted to buy the Makita branded hammer drill grease that you usually use for SDS drills, that model number is 194683-7. And of course, this is covered by your 3-year limited warranty. And in case we haven't talked about all the stuff enough, let's talk about the actual specs. Max drilling in concrete, this is rated for 1 1/8. Impact energy in foot-pounds is 2.7 foot-pounds. Impact energy in joules is 3.7 joules. It's got up to no load speed of 5,000 BPM, no load speed RPM of 980 RPM. It's got bind-up controls. This tool weighs a whopping 6.72 pounds with tool only, okay? And if you wanted to think about what the maximum capacity for concrete drilling with a core bit is 2 9/16 of an inch, I can go ahead and tell you I've done that bigger, about 3 and actually even 4-inch ones, but you have to take it slow. All right, there was a lot to cover with the marketing, so let's go over this tool real fast, okay? First of all, as you can see right here, it says AVT anti-vibration technology. It's got 3 modes. It's got, you know, you always have to push to turn it, but you can push, turn it, and it'll turn to drill. push turn. Actually, we're not gonna turn. This will be rotary hammer drill action. This is variable lock, which allows you to move the where the bit is, what rotation or what angle it's at, in case you wanted to do chiseling or hammering. And this is what hammer action is only. Okay, so this does feature all 3 modes. That's a nice thing to see. And since we're talking about AVT, let's talk about the thing right here. So this right here, you can see this vibration dampening system they have on here. Also, if you are using the tool in or with this handle is also anti-vibration feedback technology, and there's also counterweights and all kinds of stuff they kind of built into this tool to reduce it. So pretty much, long story short, this makes the tool really comfortable to use in real life. If you're doing it all day, your hands are still going to be like this whenever you're done, but it does make a big difference. Okay, what I mean by this handle is, if you look at this handle here real quick, just look at the gap. This handle actually moves like this. So this is something I have not seen in any other rotary hammer before, and maybe I don't have all of them, but this one does reduce the vibration a little bit on this handle. Obviously, if you're just hammering it down, holding it down the whole time, forcing it with all your weight, and you may not get the maximum benefit of that. But if you just let the tool do the work and put a little bit of force on it, this thing does definitely reduce vibration a little bit. Okay, so that's one of the first times I've seen that. All right, and while we're talking about this handle, it is positionable in several different locations, but it's not as you would imagine, because most handles here you would do by pretty much twisting this, but because this has the anti-vibration technology in here, you can't do that. The way it works is you have to loosen this up, right? And then you still can't turn it because it's pretty much indexed in somewhere, right? So if you loosen it up, you pull it forward, and then you can turn it. And as you can see right here, there's all these like locations you can kind of put it in. So if I want to put it here, you put it back on there. You can cinch it down and it'll kind of be there. But I'm not going to do that because I want to use the handle to help hold it up, right? So push it back in, and then turn this, which locks it into place. So that's how that works. Like I said, I wanted to point that out. This is where the depth rod guide is. If you wanted to put that, it's a pretty standard depth rod you would see in most other tools. This is where the chuck is. You insert, twist, and then locks. Make sure it's locked in by just tugging on it a couple times. It does come loose pretty quickly. Here obviously you see where I did some coring in brick. But otherwise on here, this is pretty much what this tool looks like on its left side, okay? Brushless motor, anti-feedback technology. Just in case you didn't know your tool was brushless, it will also say brushless right there, okay? And while we're here, let's talk about the 2-finger trigger. It is variable speed. Check this out. Right, so that's variable speed, 2 fingers. 2 fingers is actually really nice. If anybody who's used the SDS, if you've ever used a 1-finger SDS, which I don't think I have anymore, but you're gonna know that that gets tiring really fast, okay? Especially when you're doing chiseling, okay? On top, you'll see right here, forward and reverse, pretty standard. Push it from this side in, forward, this side reverse, unlike the DeWalt. On the back side here, you can see there's really nothing going on here. On the left side here, pretty much standard as you would imagine. Got the label here, and this is where you would put the AF or the AWS wireless start transmitter in case you wanted to use it, right? And then you can sync it to your receiver or your dust extraction or hammer vac and all that kind of fun stuff, okay? If you did have a dust extraction system to use with this, you would attach it right here. And the way you would also use that is that you would attach it on here and you would slide this up, okay? So air actually blows out of here. It's kind of like a suction effect as the motor is spinning, right? So when you're not using dust extraction, they want you to cover this, and it does explicitly say that in the manual, okay? You'll only want to work with this forward when you are using dust extraction, all right? So that pretty much covers this tool top to bottom. Another thing you could notice real quick is it did not include the rafter hook or loop hook or any kind of fault protection hook. So you do have to buy that one separately. And if you do buy it separately, you can attach it in certain areas depending on if you wanted to buy that or whatnot, right? But it's kind of interesting that they don't sell that. But as you would imagine, most SDS hammer drills do not come with that hook and loop feedback system. So without too much further ado, let's see how it performs. All right, so those numbers went by a little quick, so let's go take a look at the numbers and see how it performs, all right? So we took this GRH07 and used a fully charged 5 amp hour battery, not the battery that's on here, but a fully charged 5 amp hour battery. And the performance of the first run was 17.03 seconds, second run was 14.70 seconds, third run was 13.82 seconds. If you average the 3 runs, it comes in at 15.18 seconds, okay? This is obviously an SDS Plus as we talked about earlier, and it has all of the other basic features, okay? So, where does that put this tool on the leaderboard? So with the total performance score of the average of 15.18, it puts this tool basically in first place in front of the Bosch SDS hammer drills and pretty much all the other hammer drills we've tested so far, which is the Bosch, Flex, DeWalt, and Makita, okay? The other 18-volt LXT old brushed Makita, that is, okay? And remind you, this one is the XGT Brushless model, okay? So let's go take a look at some of the numbers, okay? So this tool has an impact force of 2.7 foot-pounds, BPM of 5,000, and RPM of 980, okay? And remember, all of those numbers are pretty much like no load, right? So if you calculate the work per minute, which is foot-pounds of impact times the BPM, right? How many times it's gonna make that impact, it gives us roughly around 13,500, if I did the math correctly, which I'm hoping that I did. So, you know, that makes this tool actually put out a lot of numbers, or high numbers, for the work done per minute. But if you remember from episode 5 with the DeWalt, just because you have high numbers doesn't mean it has maximum performance, right? But in this case, the highest spec work done per minute did produce the best number we've tested so far, okay? So one other thing that we did here was we ran actually a fourth run in this, and I'll capture that, and you can look at the video at the end of the credits or whatnot if you want to check that out. But one thing that we noticed after we've, since we're on episode 6 of the series, is that for whatever reason, a lot of the hammer drills, if not most or if not all, right, of the hammer drills, SDS hammer drills, at least after it warms up, like run 3, 4, whatnot, or 2 or 3, seem to be getting faster as we do more runs, right? So let's take a look at the example. Last episode, which was the DeWalt DCH133, first run 20, second run 20.57, and then third run was 17.17, right? Then before that, we had the Flex, which was 19.82, and then 18.20, then 18.12, right? So it gradually got faster. And even before that, we had the Makita XR004, which is the LXT brush, 25, 22, and then 22. And then even the Bosch, which was the, let's just say, any one of them. Let's talk about the D-handle style, right? 19.8, 17.8, and then 17.0, right, 07. They gradually get faster. So we just said, hey, what does it do if we just take 4 runs, right? So on this tool, we did the 4th run, and it produced 14.07 seconds, which is actually not necessarily, which is faster than the the 17 it did on the first run, but it is still not faster than the 3rd run, right? So since we've been doing the first 3 runs in the series with the leaderboard, we're just going to keep it that way, but we just wanted to do a 4th run to see what the numbers would say if we wanted to do that, okay? So for whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's maybe the tool warms up after the first few runs, right? The first one, it starts warming up, it starts getting better and better, whatnot, and maybe there's a thing. So that's something to take out. And mind you, we're only doing this immediately from a cold, fully charged battery, cold tool, and we're just running the test, okay? So maybe that has something to do with it. But since we've did the first 3 runs on all the leaderboard items so far, we just ticked the first 3 runs, which gave it the 15.18 average, okay? So if you wanted to factor in the 4th run, the fastest number, then you could do that. But, we're not going to go ahead and do that, okay? So most people who are going to be using these things are going to be drilling more than 1 hole, right? So it may not be best to use the first run, but hey, like I said, that's what it is, all right? So what can we say about this tool? So obviously, Makita had been making SDS hammer drills, or even just tools, for a long time, and most Makita tools have Makita-built motors, okay? And this is probably no exception. This features, AVT, dust extraction, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's a great tool. But what can we say about the tool, right? So if you buy this tool as a kit only, it's somewhere going to cost you, depending on what sale you find it in, between $400 $400 to $500, right? You can buy it as a tool only for right around $375-ish, right now. But you can buy dust extraction kits and all that kind of fun stuff. But the point is that, you can buy it in so many different varieties of kits that either way you buy it, it's still going to be a little bit a premium price you pay, okay? So compared to the other tools we've tested so far, yes, it does produce the fastest numbers, but it also costs more than the other tools we've tested so far. So that's the thing too, okay? And, anybody who's used Makita hammers, good thing it didn't fall too bad, know that, their tools have generally been reliable on the job site for masonry type work. So, you probably can't go wrong with it. Like I mentioned before, it's rated up to like a 2-inch core bit, but I recently had to drill I think it was like a 3.5-inch core. I think it was like a 9-inch core it's not a true core, but using a core bit to install some, refrigerant lines through, a bunch of brick and other masonry work. So it can do it, right? You definitely have to take it slow for that size, right? But for smaller sizes, you could definitely, just go for it, right? So other than that, that's all we can say about the tool. If this tool is right for you, definitely get it. If you're on the XGT platform, if you're looking for the tool and you're considering buying it, I would say buy it, right? But if you're not on the platform, it may not be the tool for you. So I'll stop jibber jabbering, tell you to get back to work. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.